All right, we're live. Shalom Yahal Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakathum to all the brothers. Shalom Yahal Shamar Ilata Ba'ashim Yahushai to the sisters. This is the ISUPK side of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And I'm gonna use this one for me. Y'all can use that one if you want. The crossover?
How's it crossover?
Huh?
How's it crossover?
Oh, I understand. Salakia. Sorry, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohanan. You understand? I am Priest Officer 500 Arak, and this is the ISBK Las Vegas Tuesday Brotherhood class. Let's give a hand to the Lord. You understand? All right, so today, as the title says, we're going to be going, this is part 2 of False Idols of the World. We're going to pick up from where we had left off last week, which was in, that was the Book of Bel and the Dragon, chapter 1. I believe the last verse was verse 13. Let me get there myself, and then I will make the final decision on where we start. All right. Bel and the Dragon's right there. But before we do that, for all of y'all that are tuning in, I'm just going to ask that y'all all do your part to make sure that you like and share the class. You understand? Do your part to make sure that this class gets, this word gets pushed out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? There could be somebody that is on your timeline, on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what have you, you know, that is a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American that is looking to turn their lives around for the better. And quite frankly, for those said people, the only way to do so is by coming into the ISUPK and Commander General Yohanan. I just disconnected. That's what that was. Getting under Commander General Yohanan in the ISUPK and learning how to serve the Most High God, which is by following these laws, statutes, and commandments. And quite frankly, there's no other place on the face of the earth that can actually teach you, not only by word, but also by action on how to do just as I had said. You understand? So it's really important. It's real important that everybody does their part to spread this out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? But in a way, that's you doing your part to putting your brick in and building the kingdom of heaven. You understand? Just like what the scripture says is that the kingdom of heaven does not come by observation, which in other words just means that, you know, you have to put in work to build the kingdom of heaven. You understand? So with that, while I'm doing that myself, because, you know, unlike the Christian church and the ISUPK, we'll tell y'all to do something that we're already doing. You understand? Right. We're not going to tell you to do something that we're not going to do. Right. While I'm doing that, while I'm liking and sharing the class myself, if there's any if there's any questions online, Baba Kashab, post them in the chat. I'll do to my best ability. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability scripturally. If I'm unable to do so myself, I'll write your question down and ask a man that is mightier than myself to get you the answer. You understand? And then we'll bring it out either on the Thursday scripture breakdown class with Officer 5000 Shabal and or my following Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? Are there going to be any questions in the classroom? All right, no sweat. Let me just get this last one, and then we'll get this going. Whoops, keep doing that. All right, so Lucky, I'm almost done. Just got a couple more of those little Facebook pages to share to. I've joined so many Facebook pages that now if I share them to all of them, I get banned for like 24 hours. Every class. So I just make sure that my class is the one that bans me.
Right.
I just play. Oh, see, yep, there it is. Restriction to my account. All right. See, Mark Zuckerberg, that lizard-looking dude, man, he don't want us spreading the truth of the Lord and His people. Ain't that something? All right. So last week we started off reading on the book of Bel and the Dragon. You understand? Let's see where we had stopped at. I believe it was 13. All right. Little regarded bit. Okay, you know what? So we're gonna pick back up. We're gonna go back to. We're gonna start from 10, just so for today, we have context going into what we're reading in today. All right, so let's start at the book of Bel and the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 10. Yeah, go ahead, Trooper. You ain't got it on your phone? All right. Let's work on getting you one. It's like the third. It's either the third to last book. All right, that's what.
This is the book of Bel and the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Now the priests of Bel were 70, beside their wives and children.
Okay, so right now it's letting you know that with just the priests alone, not even including their children, there is 70. Can anybody tell me what 70 is? Does anybody know what a score is? So, yeah, every score is 20. So 70, that's 60 and 10. There's 70 priests. Priests of Bel. All right, just to clarify. All right. So besides their children and wives, there's 70 of these priests. All right, go ahead, Baba Kashai.
And the king went with Daniel into the temple of Bel.
Okay.
Verse 11. So Bel's priest said, Lo, we go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine, and shut the door fast and seal it with thy own signet.
So just to kind of catch y'all up for the prior 9 verses, so Daniel was basically putting the king on game to let him know that, hey, this Bel this God statue that y'all worship is nothing but just clay in the inside, and on the outside he's bronze. He is not a living God. And mind you, Daniel is one west. Trooper, why is it that I say that he's one west? Off of just the small information that I just gave you. How is it and why that he's one west? Okay, you're right, but give me more. There's something in particular that I just said that you can actually reference on the first 3 verses that lets you know that Daniel is one west. But just stick with the information that I've given you so far. Daniel had told the king, it's like, hey, Bel that you worship, that you and your people worship is, man, it's just clay on the inside, and on the outside, it's just bronze. It doesn't eat, breathe, drink. You're being beguiled. Actually, what he said was, be not deceived. Don't be deceived. You understand? What it Go ahead, young man. What was your answer? Bronze is a type of metal. When you smelt copper and iron together, it makes a stronger metal than iron called bronze.
I think because as he's one king, the God you're worshiping is made out of clay and bronze. Clay inside and outside of bronze.
Okay, so why is he telling him that? Why is it that he's one west because he's telling him that? Why is it that Daniel, if Daniel was here today, he would be in the ISUPK for telling the king that? What makes him one west for saying that to the king? to be here in the ISUPK. We're One West. Trooper?
It's a false idol. It's a false god.
No. Sir, you had your hand up?
Nah, go ahead.
Sir?
Because he wasn't scared to tell the king how it is.
That's it. He's saying it to the king straight to his face. You understand? What is more One West than telling somebody that leads an entire nation, that has an entire nation behind him, and letting him know that, you know what you are doing, what you are serving, like, is BS. And in fact, I serve the one and only living God. You're being deceived. Is there anything, I mean, can you get any more One West than that? Than, you know, the man who could put you to death right then and there? Let's go ahead and read on.
Verse 12. And tomorrow when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Baal hath eaten it all up, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us.
Okay, so now to completely catch us all up, right? So Daniel had let the king know that this Baal statue that had been risen up is fake. All right. And so in the midst of him telling them that, the king, you know, rebutted and was like, okay, well, don't you see that all this food and wine and, you know, all of our offerings, they're not there anymore. Okay. What does that sound like into, you know, for today? What is a perfect example for today? What do you think?
I think the king's trying to say that all the offerings to
It's a bell, right?
It's going to be wasted. That's all the offerings.
Why is it being wasted? Where somebody is eating and drinking it. Who is eating and drinking it? No one? Okay, no sweat, Trooper.
Like the parents on Christmas, how they say put out the cookies and shit, they end up eating it.
Exactly, and that's why the children believe in Santa Claus, because the parents, you know, want to sit there and beguile their own children. They want to deceive and lie to their own children to get more involved into this holiday in the worship of the Christmas tree, which ultimately comes from. Can anybody tell me where the Christmas tree comes from? Trooper.
What's that?
You actually find it in the book of Genesis. Put your hand up. There's anybody online that can tell me where the origins of the Christmas tree comes from. And in fact, if you know the origins of the Christmas tree, you also know the origins of the little, what are they called? The ornament, the balls. Yeah. All of that they come hand in hand. I'll give you one hint. Go ahead.
I believe not brother, but Nimrod, right?
Nimrod. Exactly. Give the trooper a hand. Give the trooper a hand. So Nimrod, do you know? Okay, are you able to give me the history of Nimrod, where that even came from?
I remember a conversation with this brother.
All right, no sweat. No, Most High Christ. At least you retaining the information, and that's what's important. All right. So with Nimrod, where the Christmas tree had came from. So first of all, Nimrod was sleeping with his mother. This is a Hamite, just so y'all know, a so-called African. All right. He married his own mother, and when Nimrod had passed, what his mother had created a tradition going forward that there was going to be this big, huge evergreen tree that every year on December 25th, which was Nimrod's birthday, they were to bring an offering to basically in remembrance of Nimrod. This is basically the same exact custom that y'all get when you have a relative that passes, and every year, every certain times of the year, you come and give offerings, flowers, and some people with that have served in the military, they bring bottles of whiskey and whatnot to the grave, and they just leave it there as if that dead body, that corpse, that tombstone is gonna drink that body. Man, why you wasting? Just give it to me. I'm here. You understand?
Right.
Donate it to Salaki. You understand? But all of that came from Nimrod's mother saying, okay, you guys have to, every year bring an offering in remembrance to my son / husband. Disgusting, right? Now, what was the consequence? You raised your hand and said that was the ball of ornaments. That's where that comes from as well. What was the ball of ornaments originally at that time? I see you, sir. Don't be afraid. Skulls? I mean, there's a little bit more to that, but yeah, I mean, it's off with your head. So your head, if you do not make that offering, they cut your head off and then hang your head up in the tree. That's your Christmas balls or ornaments, whatever the hell you call them. Hey, listen, that is a woe, but I don't do Christmas in the first place. You got a question? Got a question? Okay.
They would cut your head off and they put it in the tree.
Yeah, they would hang your head up in the tree to show you as an example, to make an example out of you. So to basically let everybody know that if you don't do as you're told, which was to bring an offering every year, December 25th, then your head will be cut off. You understand? So now when you move further into the right of the timeline of humanity, they make things a lot more Disney and PG, right? So basically, now what is it now? If you're not good during the year, it's just you're going to get cold. But originally, it's off with your head for not bringing an offering. Go ahead, sir.
And if I may, if you don't mind, right? This is the tactic they use for fear, along with off of their heads and everything.
Right.
Just to increase the fear tactic of the smoke and mirrors, they would say that it was the spirit of Nimrod that was sacrificing the people. You see what I'm saying? So they're gonna cut your head off as Mongols send hurt soldiers and stuff like that to sacrifice you because you refuse to pay tribute to my son on his wicked birthday or whatever the case is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, when the people wake up the next day and see your head hanging up there, they'll say, "Oh, this is what Nimrod did. Your soul was sacrificed to the tree of Nimrod." You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that just brings more into the whole smoke and mirrors of Christmas nowadays. You wake up as a kid, you wake up in the morning and see the milk and cookies that you baked from China is gone, and you think he did it. In reality, it was people doing these things. You see what I'm saying? So like,
the water, sir. And of course, we're gonna get further into that, in this chapter. But just understand that all of these holidays that people in the world, all throughout the earth. Notice how I use the world and earth in two different contexts, right? All the people that are in the world throughout the four corners of the earth. These holidays that they worship, you understand, that they follow, that they keep, those customs, you understand, all of it comes from a pagan sacrificial background. You understand, where you're paying tribute basically with blood and or your own head, with your own life. You understand? So now in this, so what's been happening so far, right? Because of course we can go on and on with with Halloween and all those others, man. Like, it's ridiculous the background with where those even come from.
right.
Now to further backtrack, catch everybody up. Salakia. So Daniel let the king know this is what's been the Baal tribute is false, and the king is upset, but he takes it out on his priests because the king already has Daniel in such a high regard. He takes his word over everybody else's. You understand? You find that in verse 2. And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. So what Daniel had to say, according to the king, was heavier and more important than all of his friends, all of his advisors. You understand? So when Daniel told him, man, you're being deceived, the king immediately was like, okay, hold on. Started dealing with the priests. I feel like y'all are lying to me. We need, y'all need to, you need to prove that what you're telling me is real.
Right.
You understand? And so now they created a wager. And the wager is if the priest can prove that Baal is actually eating the food and drinking the wine, then Daniel has to pay with his life. And Daniel responds with, all right, just make sure y'all hold to your word, because when I prove that he's not real, y'all have to die.
Right.
So let's make sure we stay true to our world. And again, Daniel continues to prove that he is one West.
Right.
You understand? Listen, so that's where we are. That's where we are with that. Go ahead and read verse 13, Baba Kashai.
And they were little regarded, for under the table they have made privy entrance whereby they
Hold on. Make sure that you give respect to the punctuation. So when there's commas, periods, colons, and semicolons, make sure that you give that, the respect of the punctuation. Give it pause. All right. So now those priests was on some stop. Those priests was, they paid what Daniel had to say no mind. They wasn't worried about it because they already knew the contraption they already had set up, right? They had a hidden entrance in the place where they were putting up all the meat and wine for Baal to go and consume. You understand? That had been given tribute to Baal. You understand? Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Whereby they entered in continuously and consumed those things.
So whereby they entered continually. So they had already been using this little secret passage to go and get all the food and wine without being seen. You understand? This is a deceit that they've already been doing for a good amount of time. What's going on? Okay. What? It's the priest of Baal or Baal, the king's priests.
The king's priests are going to eat it. It's not actually Baal, right?
No, because Baal is a false god. It's a false idol. That's what we're going over. He's not real. All right. Go ahead and read verse 14.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
So when they were gone forth, the king set meats before Baal.
Mm-hmm.
Now Daniel has commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those they strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone.
So now Daniel, when those priests had left, the king's priests had left, and the king had put his seal on that door, Daniel had his servants go and spread ashes all throughout the floor. You understand? Read on.
Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with this king's signet, and so departed.
All right, so I kind of mixed that up a little bit. So before the king and them had left, Daniel had his servants go and spread ashes all throughout the floor. All right, and then they sealed the door, and the king had sealed it with his signet. All right, that signet being, it might have been a ring, it might have been his necklace, but just like how we have the Magan Dawada, or in English, the Shield of David, the king of that time, he had his own symbol, his own signet, his own signature to say that, you know what, with this seal, this is my mark of seal. This is my mark. I sealed this. You understand? So either being a necklace or his ring. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse 15. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children,
Uh-huh.
as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink of all.
Trooper, break that down. What did that just say?
Basically, they came in through that secret passage and the 70 priests brought their children and wives, and they ate and drank all the wine and meat they left for the so-called veil.
And now there's one more part that you're missing that I want you to bring out, though.
They weren't supposed to do that.
They weren't supposed to do that, obviously, but that's not what I'm looking for. It's something that they have already been doing. They've already been doing this. Because and how do you know that?
Because in verse 13,
stick with the verse.
Huh?
Stick with the verse.
Oh, come on, sir. Oh.
Stick with the verse, and then you can go back.
They came at night, and
No. As they were wont to do. Go ahead.
Sometimes that old English deal with, oh, I get that that's saying that they did it before, like that's what they always do. But I mean, to the untrained eye, don't.
No, I understand that, but see, this is also where you go back, just like what he was about to do, because there is a precept within the chapter that you refer to. Now, pull that precept that you was about to pull.
This is the book of Bel, chapter 1, verse 13. And it says, as they little regarded, for under the table they made a privy entrance, whereby they entered in continually. Meaning they was doing it before.
Okay, so you're right about that part.
Now I'll come back to verse 15. Basically, they're just saying how they was doing it before. They're doing it the same way as they did it before. They brought their wives, children, they ate and drank all the meat.
Right. Okay, but there's also something else that you could pull as well within the same chapter.
Oh, when they sealed it?
No.
They came at night. Not during the day where everybody can see them.
Read verse 3. This was from last week's class.
Come. This is the book of Bel, chapter 1, verse 3. Now the Babylonians had an idol called Bel.
Uh-huh.
And they were sent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour and 40 sheep and 6 vessels of wine.
So let me ask you this. This was the standard for the, how do you say, the offerings for Bel. Now, just off of 40 sheep alone, do you think that you need 40 sheep to feed 70 men? We're talking about 70 men. This is also why I said last week in the class, I don't know if y'all remember this, but I did say when we read over verse 10, where it gives you the number, put your hand down, I see. Where you read verse 10 and it tells you that there was 70 aside from their wives and their children. Why that was an important thing to remember, because even with just 70 men, you think you need 40 sheep, and that's just sheep. We're not including 20 or 12 measures of fine flour and the wine. I see you, sir. You gotta mind you, the very next day, we gotta drink all this wine and show up tomorrow for Sunday's sermon. And I can't be hungover on that. You understand what I'm saying? I have to look presentable. I'm a priest of the king. I'm a priest of Baal. Right? Sir?
No, I was gonna say, well, that's a lot of people that we think about it. 70 plus their wives and all their children, so that's at least 200 people.
So you're trying to tell me, Salakia, that 40 lamb, that's almost 2 lambs a priest, ate all of that.
That's ridiculous. No, it's gluttonous, to be honest.
It sure is gluttonous, of course.
That's definitely
but mind you, and this is a continual thing where where they're consuming these things. I see you. I see you as well, sir.
They eating good every day, basically. They eating that every day.
Every day.
To cover up.
Every day. Fats.
Yeah,
priests.
Deliciously. Literally.
That's a life, man. They got lamb too on the daily.
Man. plenty of it. They ain't like this. They over there taking home.
You get what I'm saying?
They ain't got time for
So
leftovers.
now, of course, we are in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. So when we're being practical, you really think that each man is eating north of 1.5 lambs, just south of 2 lambs per priest,
every day.
then the flour, then the wine? So that's, y'all get my point. So, and again, I understand, and that's why I made sure that I broke that down for y'all to understand with the old English. Yeah, you can get a little bit mixed up. I see, sir. You get a little bit mixed up and intertwined with the word usage, but that lets you know that this is something not only were just those 70 priests doing themselves, but they've been having their family come through. They've been having their wives, their children, and mind you, you don't know how many wives that they have.
Right.
You don't know how many children that they have. You understand? Because hell, let's say that I've got 15 his age. You understand? 8 years old. You really think he's gonna put that much of a dent in, you know, the full lamb that I get to the full lamb and a half that I get to myself?
Right.
I mean, I might eat a chop my damn self. My rib might get one herself. And what is he gonna get? Like a quarter of that? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there's numbers to that. It's like, Shalimar.
Now, I was gonna say, you gotta think about how much like meat pork that is, like how much food that is, like and supplies as well. 40. You said it was 70 people, 40 lambs, right?
So verse 3 says, now the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour. Trooper, look up how much a great measure of flour is. So 12 great measures of flour, all right, and 40 sheep. We've all been to at least a slaughter of the lamb. We know how big a goddamn lamb is. You understand? 40 of those and 6 vessels of wine.
Yeah.
It's like before you still got the floor, but if I may, that's a feast in his doggone self.
Right.
And then some. Go ahead.
Now, if I made, you gotta think like your average sheep gonna weigh like 99 to. I think I looked up and said 99 to 350 pounds. So
is it that much? If they have wool, what if they've been sheared?
I didn't look that you said they've been sheared, but
okay.
That's basically that can easily be up to like splitting the math in half. That can easily be over 7,000 to 8,000 pounds of food. You see what I'm saying? For 70 people to eat that much food in one night, it is literally like, unless you literally just.
It's not 70 people.
How many people you said?
That's only 70. Just the priests.
No, right now, I'm trying to give y'all the understanding that this is something that they've been doing with their families.
Right. Oh, okay.
They've always been including their families.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah, so but it's basically personally, like you say, either gluttonous or impossible.
Right,
either hiding it, disposing of it, or whatever the case is.
Listen, if those 70 priests were able to eat that much on a daily, that would be my 600-pound life, but I can still do the work of my Lord
right.
on the daily. Like that's a TV show in itself. Go ahead, young man.
They're not going to be finishing all of that in one day.
Right, it's not plausible without their families. It's like, so you had your hand up.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, it just reminded me of how like you can compare this to the Christian pastors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Having access to all the food, even though they do give it out. You know what I'm saying, to people that come. You know, a lot of these when you do your food drives, you're getting it from the Christian churches and stuff because they have access to all this food.
Right.
They have plenty of food. You get what I'm saying? So there's no way that people should go hungry. You know what I'm saying? Given that the religious leaders have all this food. You know what I'm saying? It goes to show, just like I'm sure with any of the wealthy of society. You know what I'm saying? they have enough. It just shows you how much they sacrificing this to an idol. It shouldn't be nobody in his kingdom that's poor. You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing in America. They have all of this food to waste, and you know what I'm saying, to give out for these parties. And if you fill out this piece of paper and you able to get it, well, hell, we shouldn't have homeless issues in America, or poverty, or people going hungry.
Right.
Because y'all have the food banks to do it. You just got to know how to get it. And once again, they give it to the churches.
No, right.
They give. And what's crazy is, it's on the side note, not to be long-winded.
No, please, sir. No, please.
Topic, but it's side note.
Please.
I was watching something on 60 Minutes, how the Church of Latter-day Saints, which is the Mormons, they amassed $100 billion in savings. They're just saving up.
I'm aware of this.
You seen that?
Well, my mother's side of the family is they're a part of the actual temple.
So
like their names are written in the temple.
So these people have 100.
Yeah.
And mind you, they're doing shady stuff because they're a nonprofit. So they don't pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
And they're putting their money into for-profit businesses. There's a whole 60-minute special that I watched yesterday.
They're basically making their temple an LLC itself.
Well, they're not, because
so the temple is utilized as an LLC, but under the 501(c)(3).
Yeah, they're illegally, because if you're a non-for-profit, you can't take money that you're getting from tithes and invest it into for-profit businesses.
Right.
And this is what they're doing.
Right.
So they're doing that, and then the returns that they're getting, they're basically got these shell companies. There's a whole, you guys get a chance, go on YouTube and watch that is on 60 Minutes, how this whistleblower blew the whole whistle on how these people got over 100 billion, literally 100 billion, hundreds of billions saved up. They're not like putting back into the community. You just think,
right.
These people will come to your neighborhood and tell you to come work the Mormon on the bikes, but you sitting with 100 billion.
Right.
Damn, coming over here on the 10-speed, come to the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and give out 10 speed or something. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts.
Give out, you got $100 billion. This is just what, this is the Mormons. Let's imagine what the Christian church is. Let's imagine what the Nation of Islam is. You get what I'm saying? Like, these religious leaders remind me of Babylon. Is it Babylon or whatever?
It's Babylon. Okay. Yeah, we're in Babylon.
Babylonian king, because they have this stuff to just blow. You get what I'm saying? You got 40 sheep to just blow to blow away. But they have this stuff to just give away, to an idol instead of feeding. You get what I'm saying? The people or their nation.
No, facts. Trooper, you got that for me? And then I'll answer the sister's question. Go ahead.
All right. It says, for reference, 1 cup, spoon, and level all-purpose flour should weigh between 120 and 125 grams. But packed, it should be 155 grams. That's over 30 grams more. Meaning they had 12 servings of that. So we do the correct calculation.
So 12 great measures is what exactly? A cup? Is that what you're saying?
1 great measure is a cup.
So now I'm going to answer this sister's question online. I want you to answer. So if we're all going to just say, just for time's sake, that a cup is a great measure, look up how much bread a cup of flour creates by itself. How many loaves of bread 1 cup of flour can make. All right. So the sister Angela Nuno had asked an excellent question. All right. She asked, what needs to be done in order for me to receive a Hebrew name and be a part of the school? You understand? Let me just scroll up real quick. All right. So check this out, sister. So I see you're out here. You're checking in from Canyon Country, California. So first thing that you need to do is get in contact with your respective camp leader. So that would still be Captain Gadalha right there. Country. What part of California are you in, sis? Let me just ask you that first. But going forward, though, just make sure that you keep on signing into these classes your name will be written down into an attendance sheet. When you get to your 90 days, you will become eligible. You won't get your name on the 90th day. You will become eligible to receive your Hebrew name. You understand? And your second question is, and be a part of the school. So what you can do to be a part of the school, make sure, first and foremost, what you can start off with right now, I'm just assuming that you're a so-called Hispanic, which is a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. So just keep on signing into classes like you are doing now, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday classes. You understand? And pay your tithes. Every 10%, every increase that you get, 10%, you bring it into the school. You understand? Focus on doing that first, and then also get in contact with your respective camp leader. So let me know what city exactly you're in, because you checked in from Canyon County. Is that supposed to be county? But it says Canyon Country.
Maybe it's Canyon Country. Maybe that's a city.
Okay, so you know what? Let me.
That's in Santa Clarita.
That's where?
Canyon Country is it's a neighborhood in the city of Santa Clarita.
So is that northern or southern? Is that Captain Gadol or is that Captain Cornwall?
That would be northwestern Los Angeles County. That's Captain Gadol.
That's Captain.
Give her our social media information. We want to like for her to DM us like personally.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay,
She said, I've been paying my 10% for about a year now, and I try to check in when I can. All right, no sweat, sis. So just continue checking in, like I said. So what you can do going forward, message us on the ISUPK Las Vegas on our Facebook, and then we'll set you up with the brother that you need to actually be checking in with your respective zone. All right. Did you find that, Trooper?
It doesn't really say.
Okay, so give me a guess. San Bernardino is the school, I believe. Okay, yeah. So Captain Gadol.
1 cup can make a loaf of bread, though.
So 1 loaf of bread.
1 cup can make 1 loaf of bread.
So let's also think about that. When you got 40 lambs, we'll just say 12 loaves of bread. You yourself, do you eat a loaf all by yourself?
Right.
Does anybody eat when you're just hungry? You ain't got nothing to eat in the house. Do you eat a loaf all by yourself? Just bread?
Maybe 4 or 5.
Let's raise our hands though. All right, go ahead.
Maybe like 3-4 slices.
You know what I'm saying? Just and I like bread, but I'm not bread hungry. I don't love bread like that. I eat what you said, 3-4 slices, maybe 5-6. I'm a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? And some water just to sate the hunger. And how many slices are there in a loaf of bread? Like a good, like maybe 16. So I mean, my big ass, like you, I can maybe eat a quarter by myself. Y'all doing too much. You understand? I could probably do a quarter by myself, but you mean to tell me that each of these priests is damn near getting I see you. I'll call on you in a second. Each of these priests, these men are getting a lamb and a half, more than a half, mind you, an entire almost, so 12 into 7, so 5 slices of bread each. And then there's also 12 vessels. So divvy up about a little bit over a fourth of the wine each every single day. This lets you know when you're being practical, they've been divvying these things up every day with their children. You understand? With their family. Maybe from time to time there might be somebody in the cities that, hey, you want to break a deal? Okay, well, you take upon this. Now I got leverage on you. All right, now you understand what I'm saying? What you got, young man? All right, no sweat. So read verse, where are we on, 15? 16, so I like it.
We found this the book of Bel, chapter 1, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
In the morning betime the king arose, and Daniel with him.
Okay.
Verse 17, and the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, yes, O king, they be whole.
So the king asked Daniel, he said, hey, Daniel, are the seals still together? Have they been broken? Has anybody broken into the chamber of which we sealed off with my signet that, you know, to make sure that there's no type of burglary? You understand? So that we know this is about to be a genuine judgment, right? A righteous judgment unto their own how you say doctrine, right? Go ahead and read on. And Daniel said yes. Salakia. Read on.
Verse 18. As soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, great art thou, O Baal, and with thee is no deceit at all.
So as soon as they open the door, the first thing that the king says is, oh, starts giving the praise to the, oh, great art thou, Baal. There is no deceit. Yeah, man, why does he say that? Okay, no sweat. But this is the real school that truly matters. So you're about to learn. No sweat. Go ahead, Trooper. Why did he yell that out? Teach the young man.
Because all the food was gone.
Because it was all eaten. Everything was taken away. Everything was consumed, right?
Right.
So the king gave praise because he said, this is the proof that we basically put, this is the proof according to our wager. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse 19. Then laughed Daniel.
Oh, damn. And hold on. And even then, when the king is, whoo, man, praise white Jesus. All the bread and the grape juice has been drinking because white Jesus came back and ate and drank it all. Daniel sat there and laughed at him. Like, what is you talking about? You understand? What is actually, never mind. What go ahead and read on.
And held the king that he should not go in.
So he held the king. So he basically told the king, he said, hey, wait, sir. Salaki, wait. Hold on. Go ahead.
And said, behold, now the pavement, and mark well those footsteps are these. So
he said, hold on, king. Wait. Look. Behold with your vast eyes. Look at the pavement. Whose footsteps are these? He's asking them, are these the footsteps of Baal, the God of whom you serve? Is this what you see? Because what happened the night before after the priests had left? Go ahead.
After the priests have left,
Uh-huh.
they left as were all footmarks. Like now we see all the
How do they see the footmarks though? Actually, man, give the young man a hand though. He's 8 years old and is able to pay attention better than Christians. So you're able. Okay, so there's footprints, but why is there footprints in the pavement? What did David do? What did Daniel do the night before so that you can see footsteps? Do you remember?
I think it was all the people who was eating. They was walking.
They left the footprints. Hold on. They left the footprints. But what did Daniel put down on the floor for them to leave footprints? Do you remember? You don't remember? It's this class. Don't. It's this class. We're done talking about last class for the most part. So, no sweat, Trooper. They sprinkled ashes all throughout the floor. You understand? Now, this is the wisdom that the Lord gives you in the first place. You understand? So that way, when you go to show somebody, whether they're a heathen or of the nation, of our people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we know how to show you proof. And we can show you the proof. What you do from there, now it's a choice. That's where you get the so-called, how you say, what are the freedom? I want to say freedom of choice, freedom of free will. That's where you get free will from. Essentially, they think I have the will to see the truth or ignore it. When you get put at those doggone crossroads, when I mean, in reality, that's what separates you from the dumbasses and those that actually can acknowledge what is real and want to accept it. You understand? Yes,
That now he has proved if it wasn't the what's it called? That
Bell,
he
right?
has proved it wasn't Bell. Oh, because those works are not the marks of Bell.
Okay, so what's supposed to happen? Since you want to jump ahead, what's supposed to happen to these priests and the children and the wives? Because Daniel proved that it wasn't real, that Bell wasn't real. What's about to happen to them?
Is not.
Get a young man a hand. This is an 8-year-old boy who understands the Bible better than you Christians, better than you Catholics, better than, I mean, hell, who else likes to read from our Bible but claim something else? Islam and Buddha and, you understand? What is Sayonetta? Sorry, I just did a damn interview with him. Is Pan-African? Kemet swalogist, all that. An 8-year-old boy, you understand, who asked to be in class because he wants to learn. He wants to separate from the world because he understands that this world is not for him. It is against him. And he wants to learn how to properly separate and gain an understanding of the Lord. He understands this better than you Christians, better than you Catholics. I will put this boy up against T.D. Jakes before I sit there and entertain some nonsense from somebody who eats pork. You understand? Who tried to teach me. You understand? So, where was we at? What was it? Verse
19,
verse 19. We was at verse 19. Go ahead and read verse 20.
Verse 20. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children.
I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. It almost sounds like if you were to spread ashes on the floor on Christmas Eve before mommy and daddy go set out those Santa presents and eat the milk and cookies, what would you see? The footsteps of mommy and daddy and not just Santa Claus, right? How come nobody's ever seen reindeer in Santa's sleigh on the rooftops of their houses, but got all that snow? You understand? Go ahead and read on.
And then the king was angry. Verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And took the priests with their wives and children who showed him the privy doors where they came in, and consumed such things as were upon the table.
So now the king he's pissed. So he made the priests, the wives, and the children show him. How'd y'all do this? Because the seal was still whole. Who broke? How did y'all get in here to eat and consume all this meat, all of this flour, all of this wine without breaking my seal? How? Trooper?
They showed him
The hidden door.
Yeah,
The hidden door. So now they had to show. Put your hand down. Now they had to show. They had to reveal their lie. Now, what does the scripture also say about lies? Go ahead. What does the scripture say about lies? No. Go ahead, Trooper.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Yes, but give me something a little bit. Okay, something that pertain. There's a scripture in particular that you can use as a precept with this. Exactly what we just read, where they had to reveal what they did. So it deals with revelation. So your parents at nighttime are setting down the milk and cookies, setting in the Santa presents, but in the morning it's, for you to see all of these things. But then when you get old enough, it's revealed it wasn't them in the first place doing that at night. And I can't give you more of a hint than that without giving it away. Hey, I am the bar, sis. No sweat. No sign Christ. Go ahead.
They want to keep that secret from their kids. It's that they're just drinking, eating stuff that look like exaggerate, but they just look that. One kid, it just stays behind something. They receive it. They see the parents walking around, they weigh the presents, they put it down, they ask them, they write the name, send them.
Right. It's all a lie. Right. So sister said Luke 12:2. Let's pull it out and see what she's talking about. Right. Luke 12:2 is what she's going to.
What's the scripture?
12:2. Oh, it's like the book of Luke, verse 12, verse 2.
Chapter 12, verse 2.
Come on.
You want to read it?
Come on. Actually, there we go.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Okay. Hit me with verse 3 too. That's the only thing that she's missing.
Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light.
Read that one more time.
Therefore, whatsoever shall be spoken, therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light.
So this is Christ's words saying it. There was another verse I was looking for in particular, but Christ put it into his own words. What you do in the darkness is going to be revealed in the light. You understand? Your lies will be revealed. You understand? What you do in the dark is not going to stay in the dark forever. And these priests are showing that right now. With this false idol worship, the lying to not only just to the women and the children, but the nations, to everybody. All of this will have a revelation. You understand? That's why. These things will not be forever, just like the lies of the so-called white man and his holidays, his rulership will not be forever. The son of perdition will be revealed. And that's also when all of the nations, not just us, but everybody separates from the so-called white man. You understand? That's when his economy collapses, his military, his entire everything collapses in fullness. You understand? Because what he's been doing in the dark it's going to show in the light. Exactly. You understand? Hey, you get see me one time with this though, Baba Kasha. Right? So and then verse 22. Pick it up from verse 22, Baba Kasha. That's what.
Luke, or will we back at Bell?
Oh, we're back at Bell. I'm so slaggy.
You said 22, sir?
Okay.
Verse 22. Therefore the king slew them and delivered Bel into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple.
So now, because of the deceit, the king actually did the right thing. He killed the priests, the priests of Baal. He killed their families, their wives, and their children. They was all in on it. Now, mind you, why do you think that he killed the wives and the children as well, though? Go ahead, Trooper.
Because it was all a part of it.
Okay, they're a part of it, but can you give me why it was significant to kill, especially the children, let alone the women?
So they could have continued the same traditions that they held, that their fathers held.
Because who's gonna birth anything at the end of the day? Who's gonna rebirth something?
The women and the children.
The women and the children. So cut it all off.
Right.
There's nothing to bring back Baal. Baal is done. You understand? And then to further it, the king did a very good thing as well. Another good deed. He said, you know what? What we do with Baal, that's up to you, Daniel. You have the power over Baal. And again, why? What's another reason? We just read it that Daniel is one west. That proves that Daniel is one west. Go ahead, young man.
It's because he spoke up, he told the king.
Okay, we already went over that. I'm saying this time now. There's another reason why he's one west. Do you know? We just read it. Say yes or no.
I think so.
Okay, go ahead.
It's because he, when he put down all the ashes, it grew and
No, not that. That shows that he's got the wisdom of one west. That I'll give you that. That was wisdom. All right, go ahead, Trooper.
And he put no other God before Allah.
Read that again from the top.
Therefore, the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple.
So, question again.
Oh. Killed the king?
Huh?
Killed the king?
Who killed what king? What did you just read?
Therefore, the king slew them and destroyed Baal and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. He destroyed Baal's little statue and everything. Got rid of it.
We got rid of Baal. It's all destroyed. There is no more worshiping of Baal. It's done. So now the people of the land, the king, nor the people of the land are worshiping Baal no longer. This is no longer the God of the land because it's also not the God of the king. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And in that same place, there was a great dragon, which they of Babylon worshipped.
So now in the same place of Babylon, so not only did they just have Baal, but they also had a dragon. You understand that they had worship. Go ahead. So this also lets you know Babylon, this whole idol worship, like this is nothing new. All right. What we're doing here in America with this idol worship, it's nothing new. All right. This all comes from the Bible. You understand? And in fact, to take it a step further, because you know what, I had a conversation with somebody about a week ago, and she was trying to tell me that we're no longer in the biblical times. Trooper, why is that not true? Why was it that my response to her was that no, we are in the biblical times?
Because you look at today's news and everything, you can see everything that was prophesied in the book of Revelation.
I mean, you're right, but you're not quite there. He said Elijah did the same thing. Elijah did the same with King Ahab and Jezebel, sir, in their God Baal. You're right about that. Only one God, Yahweh. Hey, Shalma, is this halak, like halak on YouTube?
Let me check right now.
You're okay. You're not quite there. Like you're there, but you're not.
Can you rephrase the question, sir?
Right. I have no clue.
Is that not? Oh, okay. I mean, fine. Yashikar.
That's me.
That is him. Oh, okay.
His response is that's it.
I believe that. It's it. Okay. The sister said because everything Christ said to come has not been fulfilled yet, so we're still in the biblical times. Get the sister ahead. Technically, the Bible hasn't been fully. It hasn't been fulfilled because you have to think that once all the I's have been dotted and all the T's have been crossed, everything has passed. There's going to be a testament, a document of what we had done in the four corners of the earth. You understand? And if I may, it's a quick sidebar. What Captain Kotazar has said, was it a week or two ago in his, I think it was his Brotherhood class, man, I'm with him 100%. I don't need like some extravagant ass book, the Book of Iraq. I don't need an extravagant, event that I did. Just give me one precept that just says it can be as simple and as small, and there was judgment that was being passed, a righteous judgment that was passed, and Officer Shabal and Officer Bakar, Officer Shalimar, and Officer Iraq agreed. Thank you. Thank you. Like, of course, I want to be on the chariots, but my name being written on the book, thank you. You understand? Like, I would love for that. You know what I'm saying? But the point to me bringing that up is our account, what happens here in America, what's happening to, what in the islands, in Mexico, in South America, where we have our schools set up, there's going to be accounts of what happens in those places. You understand? But yeah, Khan, sis, you are right. It's because it had, not everything has been fulfilled yet, right? So where was we at? The dragon. What was that last one? 23. Somebody pick up verse 24, Baba Kashah.
And the king said unto Daniel, wilt thou also say that this is of brass? Lo, he liveth, he eateth and drinketh. Thou cannot say that he is no living God. Therefore worship him.
All right, it's like, make sure we slow it down just a little bit. But so now the king is asking Daniel about the dragon now. He's asking, it's like, are you going to say the same thing about this dragon? That this dragon is only made of brass? That this dragon doesn't eat or breathe or drink? You understand? This right here is a living God. You understand? Therefore, you should worship this dragon. You understand? What's up, young man?
This dragon, the same as Bel.
Say that again.
And the king's asking, is this the same as Bel?
No, he's not asking if this is the same as Bel. He's more so, he's asking him a what's the word? Thank you. A rhetorical question, meaning he's not asking him a question that he wants Daniel to answer. He asked him a question to answer it himself. He said, man, do you not think this is a real God? In fact, you should go ahead, just before you can even answer, even think about the answer, worship this God, worship this dragon. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
I was just to ask what you're saying. He's basically trying to call Daniel out on his hypocrisy. Like, oh, you said that the other one didn't have clay. Well, this one has clay. So now what you gonna say?
No, right.
Type of deal.
Sir, were you done?
Kind of.
Yeah, no, I would to piggyback what y'all saying is like, and he being sarcastic about it, basically. You said these characteristics is what it is for it to be a living God.
Right.
So now that he eats and drinks, you know what I'm saying?
Right. What now?
What now? Like basically, like, is this fit your criteria of a God? You get what I'm saying?
Are you gonna contradict yourself?
Yeah, right.
But see, let me ask y'all this though.
Being sarcastic with him, saying like, you can't find nothing wrong with this, man, because
Right.
You already made your statement.
yeah, he said the previous God was made of brass and clay, and they don't eat and drink, and that the priest was eating, so I killed them. Now this thing actually eats and drink, and it's not made of clay and brass, so it has to be a God, like basically. You know what I'm
So
saying?
now to rebuttal before we even move forward, because what Daniel does is some G shit, some lock. Like I love how Daniel handles this situation. All right. But before we get to that, what is it? What is the difference between the dragon and Baal from what we've already read, mind you? What's the difference? Because weren't they under the impression that Baal ate and drank? The only difference is it was already proven that Baal, was, all the food and the drink. Put your hand down. I see you. All the food and the drink was being consumed by actual people deceiving him. So how would you be able to correlate that with what's going today? Because mind you, let us not forget, we're not just reading through Baal and the dragon. We're also getting an understanding of the false idol worship biblically on how it also pertains to today. So how does what the king is trying to lay out right now, what he is saying, we're okay, fine. You destroyed one God that I worship, but what about this one now, sir?
I was gonna say he basically he found an upgrade. Like, okay, the first one, because in reality, as far as the point, they're the exact. There really is no difference.
Right.
So it's the same exact thing. But in the eyes of the people at this time, the king gave them an upgrade. Okay, you said this one had these problems. He gave the people the solution to all of those problems. It's okay. Well, this one lives and breathes and eats. It's not us eating the 40 lambs no more. Now it's him. so now what you gonna say type of time? So it's really just more of an extra excuse to give the people a reason to not serve the one true living God.
So, okay. You know why what you said was technically wrong with the upgrade portion? They was already worshiping the dragon. They was already worshiping both the Baal and the dragon.
Right.
They was both already there.
Right. So it's like he basically put the other one on a higher pedestal.
Okay, I'll take that. Now, what is something in today? Like, what would the conversation be like today with Baal and the dragon? Okay, there's a Christian right here just disputed Santa Claus. That's what we was talking about, Santa Claus.
Right.
What would be the dragon from there?
Santa Claus.
No, you got the floor.
So thinking about the way a conversation would go, I think, okay, so we all know that. I kind of think of it when you show them how they're not supposed to be worshiping. When they're not supposed to be celebrating Christmas, you show them home. Well, you said that we're not supposed to be showing our kids that some white man come down the chimney and milk and cookies and all of that, but we don't celebrate. We don't do that. We just celebrate Christmas for the kids. We don't put it to Santa Claus and the coals and the presents no more. This is the day Christ was born. So they try to make it seem like because Santa Claus is involved in Christmas worship, that they're not sinning against the Lord. So I would kind of look at it as the same sort of context as this with the Baal not eating and breathing.
Okay, let me give you more, just because like you're there but not quite there, because technically Baal and the dragon are two different entities.
Mhm.
So going from Baal or Santa Claus is we were able to explain. Put your hand down. I see you, young man. We were able to explain to the Christian, all right, this is why you're not supposed to be doing Christmas. And they say, okay, go ahead.
So now here comes New Year's.
New
Yeah,
Year's.
so now they're like, okay, so I'm not celebrating Santa Claus, but this is the opening of a new chance for me to be
Thank
there
you.
going into
Exactly.
the next year. I see, okay,
Exactly. They're going to jump to the next holiday.
Right.
They're going to jump to the next false idol.
Right.
You understand?
Nah, damn right.
Young man, you had a question or an answer?
I was going to say, the difference of them and the dragon is the dragon, I think he said it can eat and breathe, even and it's living. The difference between Bell is it can't move, can't eat, can breathe.
They both do the same thing. They both do the same thing. But at least you're showing that you understand though.
I'm probably listening for sure.
No, for sure. All right. So we understand that though. Like there is going from Baal to the dragon. There is no difference. You're just trying to go from Santa Claus to Easter or Ishtar, or the Nordic Druids going into Halloween.
Right.
I remember when I was growing up as a kid, they tried to tell me that was actually, Halloween was a connection, basically a giveaway to the Mexicans and their, so like the so-called Mexicans with the Day of the Dead. No, that comes from the Druids and their pedophilia. Take, for example, Peter Pan. Pan is a Druidic deity who lured little kids, molested them, basically fed off of their innocence, then sacrificed them. That's what the Druids did. That's what Halloween was about. That's why you send your innocent children to strangers' houses, hence the Druids, to be picked amongst the multitude and say, you know what, this one is feasible for a sacrifice, molest him, and then sacrifice him to Pan.
Trick or treat.
Exactly. Go ahead.
When they go to other people's houses, the people will put like stuff inside. They will go inside of them and it will start killing them because like sharks.
No, you're right.
Start just killing them.
No, you're right. Yes, some of these places are.
That's why
See, and that's where that comes from. What I just explained with these Druidic, the Druidic people, the Druids, because they would kill children. So that when they're poisoning this Halloween candy, they poison it because the kids that eat it and die, that is their sacrifice to Pan.
Right.
Do you understand? That's why me and your mother do not allow you to do Halloween, because we're not going to allow you to be a sacrifice to those gods. Do you understand? We're going to teach you to be a sacrifice to the one and only true God. Do you understand?
Mom told me that like a long time ago.
Right. And you're gonna further get more and more information on that. All right. So let's go ahead and read on. Where were we at? 20.
24, right?
Come on, 24.
Lo, he liveth, verse 24. Lo, he liveth, he eateth, and drinketh. Thou canst not say that he is no living God. Therefore, worship him.
Okay, 25.
Verse 25. Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship the Lord my God, for he is the living God.
So again, what do y'all think I'm about to say about Daniel again? I've already said it several times. Actually, hold on, young man, what am I about to say?
You're gonna say it's something with 2-1.
With two, you're there. Listen. What is he?
I don't know what it's called, but I don't know what it says, but I can't figure out what it's called.
One,
Yes, 1.
then what?
Is it a 1? I think it's 1K over 1. No, it's
One. Go ahead, Trooper.
One West.
Hey, give the young man a hand because he had it. He really had it. It's okay. You knew. Your spirit knew. Most High in Christ, right desire. For those of y'all wondering, you understand, Radazai is an 8-year-old boy. His name means the will of the Lord. You understand? And he in here getting rooted in this truth. You understand what I'm saying? So again, Daniel don't care. He let the king, he just killed all those priests, their wives and their children. The only number that we actually know is basically you can take 2 to 1 priest. For every priest, there's a wife, there's a child. Technically, you could just run that. But we don't know how many wives each one had. We don't know how many doggone children each one had. In Babylon, you understand, they was having sex left and right, orgies, the whole shebang. All of them dead. And how did Daniel still respond when when King said, "Forget your God, worship this God right here"? Man, no, hold on. I'm going to worship my God.
That's right.
What did he do? He stood up strong. He stood up one West. Y'all understand? Which is extremely important for y'all to understand. Like, what do we? Did Mother's Day already happen, or is it coming up still?
It would happen
How you know?
because Musa makes up. Musa, my daughter.
Who's Miss Newsom? All right, that's how you know. That's all you had to say. Just my teacher. All right. So Mother's Day had already happened. Did you do Mother's Day? Why?
Because Mother's Day is something you have to do, and it's a holiday.
Mother's Day is not of the Lord. That's your response. When you're not supposed to, when somebody asks you why you don't do 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, etc., they say, why don't you do that? You say, because it's not of the Lord. That's all you have to say.
That's right.
Short and simple. You understand? So, where was we at again? Salakia?
We on verse 26 now.
26? All right. Oh, 25.
You want to read verse 26?
No. I'm just, re-catching myself up. All right. So, but Daniel is one West.
That's right.
Holding his ground. Man, he ain't going to budge for nothing. All right. Let's go ahead and get 26 now.
This is Bell of the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff.
Hold on, because I don't know about y'all, but I love this part as we go. We continue on with this. Read that from the top, Baba Shop.
Bell of the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 26. But give me leave.
He said, man, king, man, let me go. Let me do my thing. You understand? Go ahead.
O king.
And then, of course, he kept it respectful.
Right.
You understand? He still respected the land, the authority of the land. Go ahead.
And I shall slay this dragon.
Man, he shall slay this dragon. He did. What? There are books and novels about knights in shining armor, slaying dragons. But at what point have we read so far? Does it say that Daniel is some knight trying to be a Sir Knight to prove himself to get somebody's daughter or what have you in all this armor, his horses up armor? He got all these weapons. One hasn't even described what his garment is getting down like. You understand what armor he has? We know what armor he has. He's got the armor of the Lord. That sounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's gonna go slay a dragon. This is a real slaying of the dragon. Right? Go ahead and read on.
Without sword or staff.
And in that on top of man, Shrek ain't got shit on Daniel. You hear me? That's a lot. Not only did Shrek not kill the dragon, but Daniel gonna show up without a sword or a staff. In other words, when he says without sword or staff, what does he mean by that, trooper? No weapon. I don't need nothing. You understand? I'm gonna go in and go handle it. What's up, young man?
basically saying that he's not going to bring any weapons.
Right. We went over that. No sweat. Good job.
Right.
Good job. You showing that you're paying attention. Most High in Christ. Go ahead and read on, Baba Kashai.
The king said, I give thee leave.
So the king said, all right, go ahead. Go do your thing. Go slay this dragon. Because mind you, he wants to see, just like with Baal, he wants to see if Daniel's going to be able to kill this guy. Because mind you, he already did it with Baal. Daniel already disproved Santa Claus and Christmas. So now the king wants to see if he can kill this egg-laying Easter bunny.
Right.
Or this super friendly turkey.
Right.
You understand? Or this white man who has two faces of the past and the future, but he doesn't live in the present. Yes, Janus, that's New Year's.
Right.
See, do some research. You know these things. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
Then Daniel took pitch and fat.
So do you all know what pitch is? Does anybody know what pitch is? Nobody? So what pitch, you can get, there's different ways to make pitch. You can make it out of beef fat. Basically what pitch is it's animal fat, and then you grind it up into a really fine way so that it becomes like a tall. Okay. Then, as you said, he took fat. What does fat do? Hold your piece. Go ahead.
I was like to make it stick together, right?
It'll hold together a little bit more. Go ahead.
Keep reading.
Yeah, Bubba Shop.
Somebody. And hair.
And hair. So who can tell me what he just made? Yeah, man, I spent like 45 minutes looking up to find out exactly what this was. What you think he made, young man? Huh? No. Technically, part of it, sir.
I got it right in front of me. I was gonna say it sounded like he made some type of bomb or something. Like a bomb.
Yeah.
Or some type of.
It was a combustible. It's a combustible.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily a bomb, but it was something that would actually have a reaction to. Because what is it made out of? It's made out of bronze. So
What's it made of?
The dragon statue.
Oh, it was a statue.
If we read on, you'll see it was actually a statue.
Oh,
So Salagi, because you got to think these are all idols. Baal was an idol that was risen up. Damn.
I'm watching the movie.
Wait. Salagi, so y'all haven't been studying. So we haven't been studying then. Now this is the first book. Most High in Christ. No, this is the first book that I read coming into the truth. So Salagi. This is the first book I read so I finished it. Well, all right. Well, now I know. Y'all didn't read this. All right, Most High in Christ. So it's even better.
The young man.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait, but we already went over. Hold on. Let's quiet it down now. But we already did go over the fact that Daniel has said that this was made out of bronze. When you go back, where was it? Right here at. No, Daniel didn't say it. The king said it. Verse 24. Read it from the top. Read 24, Baba Kashah.
Verse 24. And the king said unto Daniel.
So the king said this. Go ahead.
Wilt thou also say that this is a brass?
This is a brass.
I thought he's saying it like in sarcastic way. He's saying like, what you gonna say now? Is this brass?
But that was the same thing with Baal, because Baal was clay on the inside. It was the form of clay. Then on the outside of it, it was hardened with brass. The dragon is only brass, inside and out. So this is solid brass versus just the form of clay and then the brass overlay.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Come.
Go ahead.
It's made, and the dragon is made just out of brass.
Just out of brass.
And its whole body brass.
His whole body, it's not a real thing. It's just, it's like this. Man made this.
Right.
So this is a dragon, but it's made out of brass. That's what the dragon was. You understand? So like, okay, wait, where was I at?
I'm gonna look. We on verse
I'm
27.
still a little confused because why would he want to slay it with a sword?
No, he said without
No, I
sword.
know, but why would he even mention that if it's brass? He wouldn't even think to slay
Because-
the statue.
So you have to think though, because all right, continue 20, verse 24, Trooper.
Now keep reading, Slocky. Y'all keep reading.
Read-
We'll get to the part.
Slocky,
where I say
sir.
brass.
Continue reading from verse 24. From where I said, continue reading verse 24.
Lo, he liveth, he eateth, and he drinketh. Thou cannot say that he is no living God.
Thou can what?
Thou cannot say he is no living God.
He is no what?
Living God.
So he's saying, the king is saying to Daniel, you can't say this isn't a living God. So read the next verse. Oh, yeah. Read verse 25. Or no, verse 26.
But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay the dragon without sword or staff.
So without sword or staff, I'll go and slay this dragon. I'm not, whatever you have to say, I'm not worried about it. Do you have something?
Yeah, if I could just piggyback off what you just run down, you got to think.
No spoilers.
They in front of the right. They in front of a multitude of people, right? It's people looking at this. They trying to figure out who.
Hold on. We don't know that. We don't know that. It's not. It didn't say that.
Well,
It never said anything about a multitude. It never said
okay,
amongst the
verse
people.
27, it looked like he's talking to more than one person, right?
All right. Who had 27? Who's already reading 27?
That's me.
All right. Go ahead.
And so like,
Read it from the top up the shop.
Bell the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 27.
Uh-huh.
Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair
So he created a combustible. Go ahead.
and did seat them together
So he put them together. Go ahead.
and made lumps thereof.
So there's more than one at that. Go ahead.
This he put in the dragon's mouth.
So he put it in the dragon's mouth. Go ahead.
And so the dragon burst in sunder.
So now the dragon burst in sunder. Sunder just means it broke apart. You understand? So there was a chemical reaction between the tar, the fat, and also the hair. Go ahead. And Daniel said,
And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods ye worship.
so, okay, go ahead.
Verse 28. So like it's verse 28. When they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation.
So is that the part you're talking about?
So like, yeah, I said verse 27. That's what I was talking about though.
So verse 28?
Yeah, so verse 28, once he said it's the God, like this the God y'all worship, I just slaved it with not even a staff. That sounds like it's people observing. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And they hearing like, oh yeah, you like he's right basically. Like they in some type of great debate with each other.
So let me ask you this though, right? Just to answer on that. So when something happens with Biden, for instance, I just watched the video earlier today with Biden. His whole family is under investigation for basically their money laundering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was I there when they disclosed that, or was there a public announcement? What is that called? A town crier, CRIER. That's a town crier. It's basically your newscastman to let you know what happened. You know what's going on now, to report today's news. You understand? Because prior to going up to that wasn't the case. Now, mind you as well, you understand, it's a constant back and forth wager between Daniel and the king. This we do know,
Right.
where the king is asking Daniel to prove what the hell you're saying, or let them prove you wrong.
Right.
Right? Never has it ever been mentioned, okay, we're going to do this in front of the people. You know what I'm saying?
So
But
you
of
said
course,
more of a report.
right, because what's going to, so when the king realizes and learns that the God that we're worshiping isn't real, and it seems like this God, that this king has some level of common sense.
Right.
All right, you prove that this God, this, whatever I'm worshiping is not real. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. So if he's leaving it alone, naturally, what happens? We're not there yet, but the people learn about it.
Right.
They find out now, because now, because like what they used to say it in the army all the time. Shit rolls downhill.
Right.
So it starts with the king, and then now it's coming downhill. Even though he may be trying to keep it quiet, may or may not, doesn't say that he did or didn't. But we find out that the people do learn about it, though.
Right.
That we can say, but it doesn't say that they was actually there.
I see.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, go ahead and read verse 28 again, Baba Kashai.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
When they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying.
So, trooper, look up the word indignation. Baba Kashai. Read on, sir, Baba Kashai.
Saying, the king is become a Jew,
and
they have destroyed Bel. He hath slain the dragon and put the priest to death.
So now, while he's looking up the word indignation, how would you break that down? Now we already use Baal as Santa Claus. We use dragon as any other, insert holiday custom, right? As the comparison, right? How would you use this verse, break this verse down for what's going on today? Are you raising your hand for my question, or you got it? Okay. So hold that. What'd you say?
I said I got a definition.
All right, read the definition first.
This is from the Merriam-Webster.
Uh-huh.
Indignation is a noun. The definition is anger aroused by something unjust, unworthy, or mean.
So they're saying that, what was just revealed was unjust, unrighteous. You see me, Baba Kashai? This was something, that's got me angry. You understand? This shouldn't have happened. And in fact, because they're basically claiming, when it really comes down to it, is what's the word that we would use when somebody speaks about the Holy Spirit? When somebody speaks about our God, or hold on, the way that Christianity speaks about the Holy Spirit, the Bible, who God is, etc. What is the one word that we use to describe that? And I know you two, as soon as I say the answer, y'all gonna be like, oh.
Slide, say it one more time.
What is the one word that we would use in they say indignation. Indignation. Read the definition again.
Anger aroused by something unjust, unworthy, or mean.
So what would be the word that we would basically use for somebody who speaks against the Bible, the truth of the Bible, the truth behind the Spirit, the Most High, mind you, the truth behind all these things, the Most High, the Spirit, the Bible, the laws. You understand? What is the one word that we use? Because it turns us to anger. If you have the answer, you don't have to go to school for the rest of the year, unless you want to. It's a week and a half. I want you to have the answer because I don't want to wake up in the morning and slack. But no, no. You raised your hand. Quit raising your hand if you don't have it.
It's one of those two that I think.
No. Trooper?
You got the spirit?
No.
Oh, the Christian?
No.
So they got a deacon. So.
You want to take a stab at it, sir?
You say what would we use instead of indignation?
What would be our word to describe somebody speaking against, wrongfully speaking against the Holy Spirit, the law, the Most High?
They blasphemy?
Thank you. It's blasphemy. Get officer in hand. That's according to them, that's blasphemy.
Right.
You understand? Because what are they also saying in the same breath, though? Even though that, they even acknowledge the fact that the dragon had been slain, their God had been slain. They're angry about it. Like, you, not even on the context of like, you killed my God. No, you're taking it away from us.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Read that again from the top.
Now, verse 28, when they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, the king is become a Jew, and he hath destroyed Bel. He has slain the dragon.
So he destroyed Bel, slain the dragon. Go ahead.
And put the priest to death.
I mean, in other words, now, mind you, they're giving credit to the king, who in reality did that. Go ahead.
It was something for a deed. That's all I know.
You're right.
I can understand. That's what I say. That's what I was saying.
It was Daniel. Who would Daniel be today? Who is doing that today? Go ahead. He'd be one West. He'd be the ISUPK. Get a young man a hand. God damn. God damn.
And you made up.
Yeah, right. I'll discuss it with your mother. How about that? Because you didn't get it all the way right. So we'll see. We'll see about that. If you would have said blasphemy, then yeah. Just
you don't need
man, hell, you don't need a vocabulary list. You have the vocabulary. You hear me? Listen. All right. No sweat. All right, man. You did great though. You did do great. So now these people are becoming upset with their king because now their king is realizing, first of all, the king is realizing what they have done is wrong. Right? He realized is wrong. And he is, because what does it say in verse 3? Was it verse 3 or was it verse 2? Verse 2. And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. What is Daniel? Put your hand up. What is Daniel? And to context with what we just read in 28. What is Daniel? He's a Jew. So the people are saying you're listening to a Jew.
Right.
Now, do you think that anything is going to be any different when the son of perdition is revealed in today's time? Now, part of the son of perdition being revealed in today's time, what comes with that? Of course, us as adults, we do understand that, okay, these holidays are nonsense. You understand? It's a BS, it's a BS way of bringing us all together. But what a lot of people don't understand is the actual origin of the false idol that is being worshipped in the first place. There's many things that will be revealed that separates everybody from the son of perdition. You understand? Because what happens? Who can tell me what's going to happen? No, Trooper. Tell me what's going to happen when everybody stops celebrating New Year's, the American New Year's, the American Independence Day, the Thanksgiving, Christmas. And my Christmas is worldwide, but the base economy, because the UK follows Christmas, America follows Christmas. These holidays are excluded. What's going to happen? What's the following process of that?
They're gonna realize the ISUPK was right.
Okay, you're right, but you also are jumping a bit ahead with that. The end result we all know. Put your hand down. The end result we know is eventually everybody's going to know that ISUPK is going to be right. Everybody knows. But with the revelation, with the unfolding, the revealing of who the son of perdition is, the portion of everybody learning about the holidays, what does learning about the holidays do to the son of perdition? Which, this is my hint. It destroys his God.
Right.
It destroys Baal and the dragon.
It destroys all the other religions. It's like
Watch him out.
it's like
Maybe swap.
it destroys all religions, and they realize it's only
It's not religions.
right.
Give me one more. Give me a quick answer. Come on. It's not religions. Put your hand down. Give me one good, solid, quick answer. And don't be afraid to give an answer. Comes to your mind, just say it.
I was gonna say Christians. Like that's all I'm saying.
No, that's not what I'm looking for. So, did you have your hand up, sir? Shalaman?
Oh, we gonna say it destroys false idols, right?
But destroying destroying the son of perdition. Do y'all know who the son of perdition is? Y'all don't know who the son of perdition is. You know who the son of perdition is.
I do.
Does anybody want to say it, or do y'all want me to bring it up? Go ahead, sir.
The son of perdition is Esau.
It's Esau, the so-called white man. So when you take away holidays from the son of perdition, what are you also taking away in turn? Go ahead.
The power from the white man, the so-called white man.
In what context, though?
He can't.
Because go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Hold on.
My hint is you slay his God. You slay one of his most important gods. Take a stab. Go ahead. You put your hand up. What was it? Just say it. Don't be afraid.
I don't have nothing. I'm trying to think.
Any of y'all want to take a stab?
You said it's not false idols.
You're right about false idols, but there's something in particular.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, something in particular with false idols. Okay, just to let them think. Go ahead. What do you think it is?
I think it's taking away all those holidays and sacrifices and stuff.
No. What is the biggest increase during the time? What? Money. Their economy. You take away their economy, so you take away their riches. You understand? You take that away, they begin to crumble. So what did Daniel just do to that king? Just took away that economy, he's beginning to take that away, because what do the people think about Baal and that dragon? It doesn't tell us the power that the Baal and the dragon have brought them, but they believe somewhere in the context of without Baal and the dragon, we're not going to get water. We're not going to get rain for our crops. We're not going to get good fortune. We're not going to, people aren't going to want to trade with us. Whatever, hell, I can't rub the dragon's tail for good riches this year because you destroyed it like Buddha. That's my point. You understand? I'm not able to worship these things that brought me what I thought was luck and blessings. You destroyed it. So now I'm angry and upset. You understand? Let's go ahead and read on. And of course, the priests are dead. Verse 29. Verse 29.
Chapter 29. Verse 29. It's like, so they came to the king and said, "Deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house."
So the people of the king's nation said, "Man, okay, give us Daniel. Then we want to kill him for destroying our hopes and dreams, basically waking us up to reality." If that's not Christianity in a nutshell, I don't know what it is. Verse 30, Baba Shah.
Now, when the king saw that they pressed him sore, beginning constraint, he delivered Daniel unto them.
So now the king was like, "Oh, I ain't got no." He felt like he had no choice. So now he gave the people Daniel.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 31, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days.
And we're all familiar with this, with Daniel being in the lion's den, correct?
Oh, okay.
Sir?
I just want to briefly comment that that's heavy how the king just turned on Daniel. Remember, he was his boy basically.
Right.
But when the people put pressure on him, like they was going
Right.
uproar, it's almost like,
I'm glad you brought this out too.
yeah,
Wada.
it's like it's almost like right now, like if the United States, if you put pressure on them, they'll change. You know what I'm saying? Their stance on whatever, because they don't want the people uprising against the government.
Put your hand
You know what I'm saying? So
I see it.
yeah, with that, you know what I mean? It's just heavy how he just went from having Daniel as a person that he considered a friend, and you know what I'm saying?
Above his own
Above
friends.
his own priest and everything.
And if I may,
His words,
we don't know that this king was Israel. Yeah. I mean, we're about to finish up, but yeah, kind of.
So like, will they go down first or not?
Yes, it should. So Daniel, now Daniel's being sold out. And what's a valuable lesson that we should all take from what just happened right here, especially when it's somebody who has the power? Now, we don't necessarily know, or actually, we do know that this is the king of at least the land of Babylon. Oh, no, we know from verse 1. Verse 1, this was Persia. It was one of the key. He was consulting with the king of Persia. Obviously, he also had the land of Babylon at that time as well. Now, I believe last week we kind of neutralized on, if anybody knows correctly, please correct me. Persia today is the Iranian. That's Iran, right? It's either Iran or Iraq.
I believe. I want to say Iraq is like. I thought Iraq was the Babylonians.
Was it?
Yeah, and I think Iran would be Persian, as well as Saudi.
Give me a pen, Baba Kashan.
Saudi, I know they Persian.
Yeah, because I know. Yeah, it's a strip of the land.
Yeah,
that
Iran,
was
Saudi, and I'm not really sure. All them little Middle East, not all of them, but majority of those, like Dubai and all them countries.
Yeah, can you give me one with something to write with?
I believe Iraq might be Babylonian. Don't quote me on it.
So, but when you go to verse 1, it's that's Maccabees. What?
Well, we for the sake of time and the sake of not
Persia. This is Persia, right?
Let's not teach that for the sake of time.
No sweat. So this is Persia, king of Persia. All right. Persia did have a whole lot of land. They did at one time have Babylon. That is actually historical. Persia. Right? Where's we at? Salakia, verse. So I forgot my point with that. Anyways, point is, right? Moving on. He sold himself. Oh, he's a heathen. We know that he's a heathen. That is what we do know.
Right.
So what's the lesson that we should get out of that? Especially when you're dealing with Actually, no, because that's giving too much. Go ahead.
I got a precept right here.
Baba Shah.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Never trust thine enemy,
Uh-huh.
for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Excellent precept. Excellent precept. Eventually, his wickedness is always going to show. Doesn't matter how much he polishes himself.
Right.
He's always going to show how wicked he actually is.
Right.
You understand? So, what is one lesson explaining to a retarded Christian who doesn't know much? Who, Trooper, can you tell me what you should get out of this to explain to a Christian?
Don't trust the opposite. Don't trust the opposition.
Don't trust the opposition, especially one who has power over you, like this king did. No matter how much he says, you know what? I see what you're saying. This God isn't real. What I'm doing is wrong, and I'm gonna stop doing it. But as soon as my people start to press me about what I'm doing is wrong according to them, they're going to do what the king does, because the king has power to, you know what? Now I'm going to throw you to the wolves. Or in this case, I'm going to throw you to the lions. You understand? Let's go ahead and read on. 32.
Verse 32. And in the den there were 7 lions.
Uh-huh.
They had been given every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel.
So in other words, they stopped feeding the lions so that the lions would eat Daniel. You understand? Now, before we read on, what is that letting you know off the top?
They want to do away with Daniel.
Okay, yeah, but what else? Because he was there for, what did it say, 6 days already? So what is it saying? Be practical. They stopped feeding him. Over the course of 6 days that he was there, what did they stop? Why did they stop feeding him though?
Because they wanted the lions to kill them.
Right. They wanted the lions to eat Daniel. But why did they have to resort to stop feeding him though?
So that that'd be their only source of food. They made it to where that's the only way they can eat. Kill him or don't eat, basically.
Right. So, all right. Because they refused to eat him though. They refused to eat him, and we're gonna find out why. Read on.
Verse 33.
Uh-huh.
Now they're in Jewry, a prophet called
Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Who had made pottage
Mm-hmm.
and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers.
So there was a prophet that was making food that was going to bring food to, his reapers, those that were reaping his field. So he had wheat reapers. You understand? He's going to bring his servants food for the day. Go ahead. Put your hand down.
But the angel of the Lord said unto
Habakkuk.
Go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who was in the lion's den.
Mm-hmm.
And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is.
So the angel is telling Habakkuk, hey, listen, this food that you prepared for the reapers of the field, no, take this to Daniel. And Habakkuk is telling the angel, like, I don't even know where Babylon is, let alone this den. Like,
What happened?
What do you, like, how am I going to do this? Right? Go ahead. 36.
Verse 36. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hairs of his head and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den.
So, in other words, listen, the angel took Habakkuk by the crown of his hair, just like this. Took his hair like he was a doggone puppy, like you take the puppy by the back of his neck. You understand? Like a doggone dog. and then basically teleported him to the lion's den of which Daniel was in. Go ahead.
And Habakkuk cried, saying, "O Daniel, Daniel, take this dinner which God hath sent thee."
Now, this is just my own personal speculation on what just had happened when it says that Habakkuk had cried out. He was on some, man, I am not trying to get tossed around. Like, take this food.
Right.
You understand? But what the scripture actually says, he cried out to him. He yelled out to Daniel, "Daniel, take this food. Take this food." What does it say again? Oh yeah, take this food for God has sent. God has sent it because hell, think about it. Being practical,
Right.
he just appeared in a place he had never been before. Just boom, teleported. Oh, okay. I didn't know where this was. The angel said, "Man, shut up." Didn't even say nothing. Just grabbed him by the crown of his hair and then just took him there. Give it to him. Now you see him. So he said, "Okay, I know this is Daniel. I was being practical when I was in a place I was unfamiliar. So let me put your hand out. So let me just go ahead and offer this to this man, like what this angel had commanded me to do." Go ahead, read on.
And Daniel said, "Thou hast remembered me, O God."
So, and Daniel knew immediately. At this point, it don't matter who you are, what your condition is, especially when you're hungry and odds are all against you. We all, especially as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when you are learning about the truth of the Lord, you watching these classes when the world is against you. The world is these lions in this situation. You understand? When you get this truth, this is the angel bringing Habakkuk to you with that pottage. You understand? To let you know that the Lord is with you to deliver you out of this situation. You understand? Let's get some more though.
"Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee." Verse 39.
So you're not forsaken means to forget. Lord, you didn't forget me. Lord, you don't forget those that love you and seek you out. And Daniel is crying that out unto the Most High, basically, as he should, to let the Most High know that he recognizes the fact that he was not forgotten. Because you know what? We should never forget that we know that we are under the Most High's shadow, his protection, no matter how bad things get, no matter how scary things get. Who can tell? Raise your hand if you think that you can sit in a lion's pen, just real quick. If you can sit in a lion's pen where you're watching these lions, however many there are, and you watching them not be fed for 6 days, and not think the whole time that every second, not just every day, but every second that they don't pounce on your ass, that the Lord is not with you. How can you think anything but? So you also need to think that those lions in this situation is the world, with the holidays, with their customs, the way that those lions, the world wants to devour you. The only way that the world will devour you is if you're not with the Lord, because the Most High God is your only protection against this false ideology.
Right.
You understand? It's against all of these things. Put your hand down. You understand? That is your only real protection. And Daniel, the first thing that he did was, well, first of all, I get to eat before even these lions that are put against me get to eat. He's being tested. It's a similar test to something like Job. Because was not Job tested like that? You understand? Read on.
Verse 39.
Uh-huh.
So Daniel arose and did eat. And the angel of the Lord said,
Habakkuk.
Habakkuk in his own place again immediately.
So as soon as Habakkuk gave the pottage to Daniel and he ate, the angel took Habakkuk back. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 40. Upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting.
So on the 7th day, so this happened over 6 days. So in other words, Daniel was forced to fast for 6 days. You understand? Was still there, but the Lord was with him. Preserved him from the lions, preserved him from starvation. You understand? And the Lord provided, even in the times of which you think that all odds are against you.
Right.
As long as you stand fast and you follow what is true, right, the one and only true God, no false idol. I know most I you understand? You follow what you were supposed to follow, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman. The Lord will provide for you. The king came on the 7th day when he should have been eaten. He should have been dead, at least from starvation and or dehydration. He came and looked, and Daniel was still there, right? Go ahead and read on.
Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying,
Mm-hmm.
Great art thou, O Lord God of Daniel.
So now the king, this heathen-ass king, said he had to cry out. He had to concede. There's nothing I can't raise nothing up. No tree, no bronze, no wood, no stone, no metal.
Right.
You understand? There's nothing that our hands can raise up that can amount to the God of Daniel, to the point where he said, praise thee. He said, Barakatah Yahweh. That is what he said. Barakatah Yahweh. Well, in the Hebrew, that's what he would have said. You understand? Read on.
Oh Lord God of, it's like, and there is none other besides thee.
And there is none other aside. Now, mind you, this is a whole king, a heathen king, coming to the realization that he ain't nothing. Go ahead.
Verse 42.
Uh-huh.
And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den. And they were devoured in the moment before his face.
And now, look, in the face of the deceit, in the people who are delivering you into the face of the destruction, Christianity, Catholicism, Muslim, Buddhism, Pan-Africanism, the Kemet swallowtology, whatever false doctrine with false idolization. I think I said that correctly, right? They're trying to lead you into destruction. What the Most High God will do in the midst of you standing true on what you are supposed to do, you will watch everyone, not only who just followed into that destruction, but the people who were leading others into that destruction reap what they had sown, be destroyed in what they were trying to lead others to be destroyed in. Y'all understand? This is the importance of understanding. The book of Baal and the dragon is so heavy to understand when you're dealing with false idols. You understand? Because it tells you on no matter if you want to worship this God, that God, or his God, or her God, or its God, because it is 2023, right? There's an it now. You're going to reap the same destruction as everybody else. You understand? So it's important for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to learn who is the false God and understanding that there is only one living God, and that is the one and only living God here in the Bible. You understand? And so with that, this is the ISUPK Las Vegas Tuesday Brotherhood class. I'm gonna pass. Do you have the? Do you have it, or do you need me to send it to you?
Send it to me.
All right, kind, no sweat. We're gonna pass the class to precinct officer 1000 Shalimar. I'll just pull it up on my phone and give it to you.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, starting out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The rules for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, which can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, which means tenth in the Hebrew or Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department of the teacher. Priest funds, which is a free will offering for a priest, which is not mandatory and whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the it's like, what's that? The feast of we have the feast of first fruits that will be coming up on May 29th. So give with your respective camp leaders in your zones. You know what I'm saying? Accordingly on how you come and attend the Lord's High Holy Day. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, and headbands, and scarves. With that, men of Israel, I might you, which means to stand. You're gonna give one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, I remember Shabbat. I might you, Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat. Dismissed.